Hello everyone, I'm Chef Atul Jain from St. Peter's, and today I'm here to prepare a beverage for you for the pre-gala event. This is dedicated to all our friends, family and colleagues around the world, around the country, who have been working tirelessly towards getting rid of this pandemic. And all these people, all of us, are ready to get out there and have some fun. So before I get into the details of this mocktail that I'm going to make, a little quick story. 2 years ago, I was with my friend Dustin in New York City, and he made an impromptu cocktail out of cucumbers from his backyard. That inspired me to make this mocktail today with an infusion of ingredients of fresh herbs, because I haven't met Dustin in 2 years, and I'm really looking forward, hopefully, to meet him this summer. So let's get into the details. So as we have prepared our ingredients, we've got the cucumber juice, we've got the thyme infusion. I'm going to work on the garnishes first. Half lemon, very thinly sliced. Yeah, I have thinly sliced lemon. Remove the seeds and you're done. Take a cucumber. Mandolin here. When you try this at home, be careful. Shave the cucumber thin, and the way it's going to work, I'm going to show you how to set it up. So let's get into making the real drink. We're going to take about a half cup of ice, and I'm making drink for two. I love sharing. And this is the chef's measure. There is no measure. You add about 6 ounces of the cucumber extraction. Note, my thyme infusion, I've saved it with the thyme, so I'm just going to strain it. Again, about 4 ounces. Squeeze of lemon, you can use lime. And at this point, I'm going to shake it. So we have this here, nice and chilled. You can see the glass is chilled. I choose to put the ice here so that I don't dilute the beverage as people are waiting and socializing and doing their thing. So I'm going to add this concoction, the mocktail, over here to the glasses, and then I'm going to top it off with seltzer. Look at the beautiful pastel green color, the yellow lemon inside it. Before I get to the seltzer, I want to take 2 sprigs of fresh thyme, and I always use fresh thyme, not the dry stuff. Dry stuff is for cooking, not for this. Just rub it. It's important to rub it in your palms. When you rub it in your palms, the oils come out and you can taste the fresh thyme essence in the drink. Cheers and enjoy the gala.
Good afternoon and welcome to the St. Peter's Healthcare System Gala, presented by Sills, Cummis & Gross. Please welcome our MC for this year's gala, Jim Choma, Vice President for Catholic Mission and Chief Development Officer of St. Peter's Healthcare System.
Good afternoon and welcome to St. Peter's Healthcare System's 2021 Virtual Gala, presented by Sills, Cummis & Gross. My name is Jim Choma, and I serve as the Vice President for Catholic Mission and Chief Development Officer, and today as your MC. If you have attended a St. Peter's Gala in the past, you will notice that today's presentation is quite different. We won't have the traditional cocktail hour, seated dinner, or dancing for which our gala has come to be known. What we have, however, is a celebration of 3 distinguished honorees and special recognition of our healthcare heroes. Winston Churchill once said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." As the program proceeds, you will experience why this quote is embodied by Affinity Federal Credit Union, Dr. William Bernstein, Dr. Robert Fine, and St. Peter's nurses. I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors and invite you to look through our e-journal that you received by email. The e-journal, as well as a recording of today's presentation, will be available at stpetershcs.com/gala at the conclusion of the event. Throughout the presentation, I encourage you to engage through the chat function and cheer on our honorees with your signature St. Peter's mocktail or whatever you might be drinking. As a reminder, we will be drawing the winning ticket for our 50/50 mega raffle tomorrow. Tickets are still available. To purchase, please email St. Peter's Foundation at spfoundation@stpetersuh.com. On behalf of all of us at St. Peter's, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and a heartfelt congratulations to our honorees. It is now my privilege to introduce to you His Excellency, the Most Reverend James Checchio, Bishop of the Diocese of Metuchen and corporate sole member of St. Peter's Healthcare System. Ladies and gentlemen, Bishop Checchio.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to St. Peter's Gala. It's been quite a year, huh? 2 years since we last gathered together in Gala, so we're grateful that at least we can have this Gala virtually this year. I'm happy to be here, Bishop Checchio, the Diocese of Metuchen, who sponsors the hospital, and it's my pleasure to greet you all and welcome you. I certainly want to thank our sponsors this evening, especially our presentation sponsors, Sills, Cummis & Gross. They've been great. Special thanks to our honorees, too. We especially are grateful to Affinity Federal Credit Union, who's receiving the Bishop's Award. They've been such loyal partners to us. In particular, Affinity's president and CEO, John Fenton, serves the hospital particularly as on the retirement plan committee and the investment committee. So not only do they give as a organization, as a company, but they give personally, too. So we're doubly grateful for him. We certainly need to think of all those who make St. Peter's the great place that it is. As I said, it's been quite a year, and the way that our administrators and staff, the doctors and nurses, everyone at St. Peter's has worked throughout this year has been nothing short of exceptional. We know that we're not the only ones that think that. Even the CDC recognized that. They put up a program on their own website that recognized St. Peter's and shared it with the whole country and world in their outreach program to assist in the community to prevent spread of the disease. So we're certainly grateful to them for everyone at St. Peter's for their great efforts throughout this year. They've pivoted and changed and been so courageous in battling this pandemic. Certainly all of our doctors deserve recognition and praise. In particular, the Physicians Appreciation Award this year honors Dr. William Bernstein and Dr. Robert Fine. A dedicated pediatrician, Dr. Bernstein not only cares for our smallest patient, but also serves as St. Peter's designated institutional official and director of medical education. Dr. Fine of Astera Cancer Care has provided almost 40 years of compassionate care and clinical expertise as an oncologist, hematologist, coordinating care of patients with his colleagues at St. Peter's. You'll be learning much more about these exceptional physicians during this awards program, but I just want to simply offer my congratulations to these two wonderful doctors too. Another group of people we can't forget to thank are our nurses, We've always known that our nurses are the best, but I think now we've gotten proof of that too. They've received their 6th magnet status this year, 6 times in a row, which is so exceptional. So we're grateful for the beautiful care that they give to our patients along with our doctors. They've been so inspirational throughout this year. They care not only in helping the sick, but caring for their families and working at prevention measures too in our community. Now, of course, they pivoted to helping with vaccines. So they've had to keep on following the road that's put before them, and we're so grateful to them for all that they do. You're truly a blessing. So I ask you to please join me in prayer as we pause momentarily and remind ourselves that we're in God's presence. God calls each of us to a specific work, to make contributions that only we can make. We pray today for the courage, skill, and sacrifice of all caregivers serving in this time. Lord, surround and support the men and women working in your healing ministry. Never leave them. Comfort them and keep them safe. Give them strength to care for those who are sick and the dying, as well as the strength to receive help from others. Be with their families, friends, and loved ones. Send your peace for their anxieties, joy for their fears, hope for their despair, and light for their darkness. Lord, in a particular way, we ask you to bless our honorees 100-fold for all they do to advance the mission of St. Peter's healthcare system. And look favorably, finally, Lord, upon our sponsors and all who support this event. May Almighty God bless all of you. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thanks for your help, everyone. Thanks for joining in this gala this evening. We need your help, especially this year with all the financial hardships that the pandemic has caused for all hospitals, but particularly our beloved St. Peter's. So if able, I ask you to dig a little deeper, to give a little more to help St. Peter's continue to carry on its beautiful mission. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you now to give your attention to our friend, our good President and CEO, Les Hirsch.
Good afternoon, and welcome to St. Peter's Healthcare System's 2021 Gala. On behalf of everyone at St. Peter's, thank you for joining us for our first virtual celebration. We appreciate being able to share this time with you and are forever grateful for your philanthropic support in helping us to advance St. Peter's Catholic mission. It's hard to believe that it's been more than a year since COVID-19 changed our lives forever. The pandemic brought forth unprecedented times and challenged the human spirit more than we could ever imagine. Our collective strength, perseverance, and resilience have carried us through. I extend heartfelt appreciation to the Most Reverend James F. Cecchio, Bishop of the Diocese of Metuchen, our shepherd, for his enduring spiritual guidance, particularly during the last year, and for his leadership in paving the way for St. Peter's future success and fulfillment of its Catholic mission. Thank you, Bishop. I also thank our Healthcare System Board of Governors and Chair, Vincent Dix, our Foundation Board and Chair, David Samuel, and to all of our board and committee members who so generously give of their time to ensure St. Peter's legacy. Because of the pandemic, we could not celebrate together last year. Our lives have been dramatically changed, and we are experiencing life much differently now. Today's virtual celebration reflects that. Fortunately, two things haven't changed: the fortitude of our physicians and employees, who are truly healthcare heroes, and that of our donors and supporters. Throughout the pandemic, our healthcare heroes continue to care for our patients and one another with the highest level of skill and compassion. And because of your selfless support and unwavering commitment to St. Peter's, our staff was sustained physically, emotionally, and spiritually during the most trying circumstances. We are forever indebted to your generosity. Your charitable contributions continue to make an extraordinary impact on helping us to deliver the highest quality healthcare services to those who entrust us with their care. We are blessed to carry on St. Peter's legacy of more than 114 years of service to the community, especially to those who are most vulnerable. Thank you to the supporters of our gala, especially to Sills, Cummis, and Gross, PC, our presenting sponsor, and to all those companies and individuals who contributed to this year's success. And to those joining us today, many of whom have been longtime supporters of St. Peter's, thank you for helping us to fulfill our mission for the betterment of our community. Your past support has helped us fund critical programs, including the purchase of our new community mobile health van, which enables us to improve access to care directly in our neighborhoods. Most importantly, your support over the past year was significant, ranging from monetary donations that helped launch our COVID-19 recovery program to gifts in kind, such as masks and other personal protective equipment, and iPads that facilitated communication between patients and their families when our heightened safety measures kept them from being together. The outpouring of support from the community at large throughout the pandemic was felt throughout our organization. From the thousands of meals and thank you cards that physically and emotionally nourished our staff, to the much needed personal protective supplies that helped keep our staff safe, our community was there for us. The sheer numbers of those who felt a calling to give to St. Peter's was overwhelming. We will never forget the compassion shown to us by our community. Thank you. Today we honor several champions of healthcare, people who embody the spirit of St. Peter's and are steadfastly committed to the good works we do. The Bishop's Award, the highest honor bestowed by St. Peter's, recognizes the contributions of outstanding individuals or corporations that further our mission. Recipients of this award have demonstrated a commitment to St. Peter's and our community by their leadership. They have a strong spiritual commitment to building stronger communities. Today we present the 2021 Bishop's Award to Affinity Federal Credit Union, recognizing this community institution for its dedication to creating something better and its commitment to the community and to St. Peter's. Over the years, Affinity Federal Credit Union has supported major campaign initiatives, including the Simulation Center for Interprofessional Learning and the expansion and modernization of our emergency department, as well as providing funding of cancer programming benefiting breast cancer survivors. Thank you to John Fenton, President and CEO of Affinity Federal Credit Union, and to his entire team for their continued partnership in helping us to meet the healthcare needs of our community. St. Peter's Physician Appreciation Award recognizes leadership and commitment to inspiring excellence in the advancement of healthcare at St. Peter's and throughout the community. Today we present Physician Appreciation Awards to Dr. William Bernstein and Dr. Robert Fine. A respected pediatrician at St. Peter's for almost 30 years, Dr. Bill Bernstein provides care for children, many of whom are underserved or uninsured, at St. Peter's Family Health Center, all while teaching and overseeing the administration of St. Peter's residency and medical education programs. Dr. Bernstein holds several academic appointments and leadership positions, serving as director of the Pediatric Residency Program and Associate Chair for St. Peter's Department of Pediatrics. Under Dr. Bernstein's newly appointed leadership and direction as the designated institutional official and director of medical education, St. Peter's graduate and undergraduate medical education programs have been elevated to new heights. His passion for patients and education is unsurpassed. We honor him today for his dedication as a pediatrician and for his leadership in advancing the education of future physicians. Thank you, Bill, for being an outstanding clinician and inspirational teacher and administrator. Today, we also honor Dr. Robert Fine of Estera Cancer Care, our Chief of Medical Oncology and Chair of St. Peter's Cancer Committee, for providing almost 40 years of compassionate care and clinical expertise as an oncologist hematologist. His goal is to give his patients hope and to provide them informed guidance and the best treatment modern medicine has to offer. Care that helps his patients prevail, survive, and thrive. During Dr. Fine's years of service to St. Peter's, our cancer program has achieved national accreditation and recognition for its multidisciplinary approach to cancer treatment and successful outcomes. Thank you, Bob, for your dedication, support, and leadership in advancing cancer care at St. Peter's. Today, we also offer special recognition to St. Peter's nursing staff. Though 2020 will forever be etched in our minds as the year of the pandemic, it only seems fitting that it was also the year of the nurse and midwife. Last year marked the bicentennial of Florence Nightingale's birth and was also the 150th anniversary of her prediction that it would take 150 years for the world to see the kind of nursing she envisioned. Could she possibly have envisioned a pandemic in which our nurses would be put through and pass the ultimate test? When the pandemic hit, St. Peter's nurses, under the leadership of our Chief Nursing Officer, Linda Carroll, not only met the challenge, they exceeded it. Our nurses remained focused on the task at hand, providing care for the sickest of patients, often putting themselves in harm's way, not knowing the extent and reach of the disease. But that's not all. While the COVID-19 crisis was putting our nurses to the test, they succeeded in achieving a significant milestone. Our nurses achieved a record 6th consecutive Magnet designation for nursing excellence, nursing's highest honor, with St. Peter's becoming only the 5th hospital in the world to do so. A remarkable accomplishment and a true testament to the philosophy of care that is demonstrated at St. Peter's every day. So as we move forward in celebrating each of our honorees, let me say thank you once again to our donors and benefactors for your generosity, not only today, but each day you choose to support St. Peter's in advancing our Catholic mission. Be well and stay safe. Thank you.
It is our great honor to recognize Physician Appreciation Award honoree, Dr. William R. Bernstein.
Growing up, I always was interested in working with people, helping people, and as I went to school, I discovered that science was my best subject, and I really enjoyed science. Also, as a younger child, I watched some of those medical TV shows back in the day, such as Quincy and Emergency, and got interested in medicine as a potential career. I went to Johns Hopkins University as an undergraduate and did a pre-med curriculum, and I was hooked at that point, so I decided to apply to medical school at that point and went to Cornell University College of Medicine.
Dr. Bernstein, I've known since I recruited him in 1993. And I remember him coming in for an interview, and right off the bat he impressed me and actually gave a lecture to the residents and was very well received, and the rest is history because now he's been here for all these years at St. Peter's.
I think we as physicians are always teachers to a certain extent.
You know, I like to say knowledge and wisdom are great to have, and once you obtain it, the only way that its importance is realized is when you share it. And that's probably the best way to describe Dr. Bernstein, his sharing, his acknowledgement that that's what he's supposed to do.
I don't think I've ever met or worked with a person who doesn't just do it. It's a commitment. It is, I think it's intertwined in everything that Dr. Bernstein is to teach. It's part of his makeup. And everything he does has a teaching moment to it.
I think the greatest achievement is getting the next generation of physicians prepared and ready to serve, our community.
Personally, I would say his greatest achievement was really getting the new residency program launched for our department.
We've had pediatric residents here at St. Peter's for decades, but in the early 2000s, when UMDNJ, the University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey, disbanded, St. Peter's was left with residency programs without a sponsor, so we needed to develop our own sponsored residency programs by St. Peter's.
And it's not only my opinion that this was an important and very effectual work that he did, but when you start a new residency, you're reviewed by an outside authority like ACGME. And when we had a site visit within a few months after the application went in, and generally what happens is that after the site visit is done, the person who is doing the site visit from ACGME would sit with me and debrief me. And the first thing she said was that this is a model application, and this is one of the best application for residency that she has seen. And she asked permission if they could use this as an example to show other programs how to apply for a new residency program.
And it's really taken off since then, thrived, become a wonderful program. We attract great candidates to our program. We have outstanding residents. We give them an excellent clinical training experience while they're here at St. Peter's. And it's a privilege to be able to work with wonderful residents each day in a thriving residency program, and to work with outstanding pediatric attendings and faculty here at the Children's Hospital at St. Peter's.
He is a wonderful pediatrician. He puts the kids at ease very easily.
He walks into the room with a smile on his face and starts engaging parents and patients right away. And there's a sense of comfort when he enters the room. And that in itself allows for an excellent encounter with the doctor.
He has all the different techniques he uses from characters that he knows. And he really gets into his role as a pediatrician and somebody who can easily comfort children.
Dr. Bernstein has an abundance of fun, amazing ties, from his Gumby ties to his famous Operation tie.
Well, as I started out my career in pediatrics, I saw these ties in the stores that had different cartoons characters on them, and I thought, wow, that would be a great tie to wear because, I am a kid at heart, but also for my patients to try and ease their fears as we're examining them, as we're giving them immunizations. So I bought a few character ties and started wearing them, and I enjoyed wearing them, and they did work. They did ease the fears of our patients, and whether it was 2-year-olds or 16-year-olds, it worked just the same.
When I saw that Dr. Bernstein was the recipient this year of the Physician Appreciation Award, I honestly could not think of a more deserving person. As a colleague and as a friend, it obviously makes me feel good to know that this is somebody who I care about and somebody who has really shaped and affected my career as a pediatrician to receive this award.
His peers respect him utmostly, and certainly the residents who he has trained and mentored remember him for a lifetime. This is something that he has given them a gift and made them better physicians and pediatricians.
Bishop Checchio, Mr. Hirsch, and Mr. Choma, I would like to sincerely thank you for the 2021 Physician Appreciation Award, which I am extremely honored to receive along with my colleague and friend, Dr. Bob Fine. I consider myself very fortunate to have been at St. Peter's for 27 years. St. Peter's is a wonderful hospital with a truly caring culture. It is a blessing to be able to work with so many talented people daily at St. Peter's. I really enjoy being part of the St. Peter's team with all the fantastic physicians, nurses, administrators, pharmacists, social workers, engineering and environmental staff, and many other phenomenal support staff. I feel I have been able to embrace the mission of St. Peter's University Hospital from the first day I got here and incorporate the St. Peter's mission in the various programs I am involved with. I have helped build the pediatric faculty group at the St. Peter's Family Health Center, where we provide a medical home and high-quality pediatric care for many needy and complex patients. Our healthcare team's work at the Family Health Center highlights the St. Peter's mission component of humble service to humanity. One of my passions is quality improvement, and I have worked side by side with some great folks in our quality improvement department. Our pediatric quality improvement program at St. Peter's has been able to implement significant patient quality and safety initiatives. A big thank you to Dr. Rao and the entire St. Peter's quality improvement team for all your support over the years as we provide some of the highest standards in pediatric care across the country here at St. Peter's. This work reflects the St. Peter's mission component of striving to provide the highest quality of healthcare. Throughout my career, I have been privileged to serve in many leadership roles during my time at St. Peter's. These include Associate Chair of the Department of Pediatrics, Chair of the Division of General Pediatrics, Medical Director of the Pediatric Faculty Group, Medical Director for the Newborn Nurseries, Activity Director for Pediatric Grand Rounds, member of the St. Peter's Medical Executive Committee for over 20 years, Pediatric Residency Program Director since 2003, and most recently, St. Peter's University Hospital Director of Medical Education. One of my main goals as a pediatrician has always been to focus on being a team player and building consensus, so working together with the many talented and dedicated people at St. Peter's, we could always achieve the maximal success possible. This reflects the St. Peter's mission component of creating an environment of mutual support. A major emphasis throughout my career has been on medical education. Medical education, teaching, and mentoring have formed my personal mission, very consistent with our St. Peter's mission component of pledging to the education and training of healthcare personnel. I've been blessed to have wonderful mentors who have inspired me to pursue my career in pediatrics and in medical education. While I have been fortunate to have many great mentors, Dr. Bipin Patel, Dr. Harvey Aegis, and Dr. Francis Rhodes are true standouts. These three fantastic role models guided and inspired me to pursue my career pathway and strive for excellence in everything I do. By always being humble, caring, tireless workers, great pediatricians, and superb pediatric educators, Dr. Patel, Dr. Aegis, and Dr. Rhodes set a high bar for me to aim for. I hope that I've been able to live up to their high standards and pay it forward by successfully mentoring pediatric residents and medical students in a similar manner. I feel very lucky to be able to serve as a leader in training so many members of our future healthcare workforce. I have taught and mentored hundreds of pediatric residents and medical students over my time at St. Peter's, all the while hoping to have a positive impact on each of them, help them to achieve success in their careers, and in turn have a positive impact on their patients and on society, similar to my experience with my mentors. There have been more than a few times over the years where my work at St. Peter's has made me late to some family events, so I want to take a minute to thank my family for all their love and support and for putting up with my long hours at work. I would like to recognize my wife Lila, my children Owen, Catherine, Zachary, Hannah, Alex, and Alex's girlfriend Cassidy. I would not have been able to achieve success in my career without their love and support. I also want to recognize all of the St. Peter's healthcare heroes and thank them for stepping up during the COVID-19 pandemic and for doing such inspiring work. This has been a challenging time for healthcare workers, but the St. Peter's team has really risen to the occasion to provide top-notch care with compassion for our patients and for our community. Finally, I would like to point out that St. Peter's is extremely fortunate to have Mr. Les Hirsch as our president and CEO, especially during this difficult pandemic period. Mr. Hirsch, along with his fantastic leadership team, has done just a phenomenal job in guiding St. Peter's through these extremely challenging times. We are all extremely grateful to and appreciative of Mr. Hirsch and the St. Peter's leadership team. St. Peter's is entering a critical period in its history in 2021. I am very confident that, with the visionary leadership of Bishop Cecchio and Mr. Hirsch, St. Peter's is in great position to truly thrive as a healthcare leader in New Jersey for many years to come. And I am truly honored to be part of the St. Peter's team. Thank you very much.
And now it is our honor to recognize Physician Appreciation Award honoree, Dr. Robert P. Fine.
I was always interested in science. I was always interested in talking to people and interacting with people. And when I was a kid, I would have been very happy to be a marine biologist or a zoologist or an astronomer or a physicist. But I really found as I got older that didn't incorporate the same degree of interaction with people, which I really enjoy. And I think I really decided to become a physician probably by the time I was in high school.
My first impression of Dr. Fine was very favorable because I had heard that he had trained at one of the more prestigious programs in the country, and he was very sharply dressed.
As a colleague, he's the perfect colleague. He is what we call the 3 A's: affable, able, and available.
Dr. Fine's patients and patients' families would describe him as caring, attentive, and supportive.
Patients tell me over and over again how he sits with them for over an hour, making drawings, helping them understand how cancer got there and what it is that we're going to do to make sure that they are healed.
They know he has their best interests at heart, so they feel very comfortable calling him because he gets back to the patients in a very timely manner.
As an oncologist, we frequently assume most of the care of the patients. We become their doctor. We assume responsibility for pretty much their total care. And I like that, and I've always found that to be a very gratifying experience.
When I started here 30 years ago, oncology was housed in what is now 1G metabolic, and it was a 40-bed unit with 2 beds in each room. We had 4 private rooms. Dr. Fine was instrumental in getting us relocated to where oncology is right now on 1D, where there were more private rooms and negative pressure rooms which are amenities that are conducive to great care for the oncology patient.
When I was first observing Dr. Fine on rounds and in conferences, I noticed that he would often take a pad out of his shirt pocket and write something. And I said to myself, is he doing a shopping list? I discovered that what he was doing was writing down patients' names, because time after time after time, patients that we shared would tell me, Dr. Fine called me right out of the blue just to say hello. And that was what he was putting down on his pad all those times. So patients who were in active treatment or patients who had treatment long ago, he used to just pick up the phone and call them and ask them how they were doing. And that happened dozens of times that I can think of.
A favorite memory with Dr. Fine is years ago, we took care of his grandmother. And he would come in the morning, and the minute his grandmother heard his voice, she would start to scream, "Bobby, Bobby. And he would blush, just go into the room like a little Bobby.
Dr. Fine actually likes to cook. He is a foodie, and he's frequently giving me recipes to try.
I think people are always a bit surprised to find out that I enjoy cooking. I'm not a good cook, but I enjoy cooking.
What I feel Dr. Fine's greatest achievement in the community is his dedication to St. Peter's, and also the practice before we merged with the RCCA was a very growing practice. We were up to 5 physicians, and I've been in the community a long time, and I've seen a lot of doctors come and go. I've seen groups break up, but in Dr. Fine's case, the group kept growing and expanding. Nobody left, and I think that speaks volumes about the environment and culture that Dr. Fine created with his practice.
I think he's deserving of this award because of his years of dedication to the care of oncology patients.
I think it represents an acknowledgement of how we regard physicians who have not only been here for a very long period of time, but have shown their support in sometimes quiet ways, year after year, steadfast support, not only of the people that work at St. Peter's, but the people who come to St. Peter's for care.
I think Dr. Fine deserves the award because he's always had St. Peter's in his heart from the very beginning. He's always been a St. Peter's person. He's been instrumental in setting up the Fine oncology program that we have at St. Peter's, and he's been an integral part of each of those facets of that program.
When I first came to St. Peter's 37 years ago, 1984, not knowing what to expect, and I must say it has been such a wonderful experience working here all these years. The physicians, the support staff, the administration, the people that live in this community, it feels like home, it really does. My first memory of wanting to be a physician was when I was about 10 or 11 years old. Even at that age, I knew that I wanted to become a scientist, a biologist or an astronomer. This was the 1960s, and science was exciting and encouraged. A career in science was aspirational to a young kid from Long Island. At about that time, my mother brought me to see our doctor, Dr. Stephen Enty, with some minor ailment. He began to explain what could be wrong and mentioned something about my spleen, and I didn't know what that was. And for a 10-year-old science whiz kid, not knowing was very upsetting. So I asked him to explain. And I've never forgotten how he answered me, as if I were an adult. He even drew my spleen on my abdomen with a Sharpie. I was impressed and inspired. I then realized that when I grew up, what I wanted was to combine science and human interaction and become a physician. After college, I attended NYU School of Medicine and did my residency at NYU Bellevue in New York City, and then medical oncology fellowship at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I joined the staff at St. Peter's in 1984. From day one and continue to, I have found St. Peter's to be a warm, congenial, and familial place. It is a welcoming and caring institution that places great weight on integrity, academics, and especially on providing superb medical care to all patients, regardless of means or need. Over the years, there have been many physicians at St. Peter's who have become mentors as well as friends and colleagues. However, I must give special thanks to a few. Dr. William Sweeney and Dr. Alexander Haas of Radiation Oncology, Dr. Joseph Zullo of Surgical Oncology, and to Dr. Susan McManus, Director of our superb breast cancer program. Since arriving at St. Peter's, I've been blessed to work with many superb physicians and support staffers, nurses, technicians, clerks, social workers, housekeepers, and others too numerous to name. These people are the heart and soul of St. Peter's, a unique and special group. I must thank my family who have supported and stood by me over the years. My wife, Ricky, who has patiently endured too many weekends and holidays alone while I was in school, in training, or on call. She has been awoken and has had to listen to many, many phone calls from the emergency room or patients in the dark of night. At this point, even though she is not a physician, she frequently tells me what I should have done, and uncannily, she is almost always correct. My 3 children, Adam, Danny, and Rebecca, when young, they were frequently dragged to the hospital to accompany me on rounds. My love of medicine and work ethic must have rubbed off on them, as 2 of the 3 have become physicians. Adam is a cardiac electrophysiologist in Northern Virginia. Rebecca is a child and adolescent psychiatrist in Manhattan. And Danny chose a different path. He's in private equity, energy, and infrastructure in Miami. I have 5 wonderful grandchildren ranging in age from 2 to 8. So far, they are more interested in Legos and dress-up than in medicine, but time will tell. Oncology is a gratifying and exciting field. The help and hope we give to patients and families is limitless. With the many new advances in treatment, such as immunotherapy and precision medicine, as well as with genetic and genomic testing, its future is boundless. Oncology has been truly a fantastic field of medicine to have been a part of. My practice is now affiliated with a growing oncology and multi-specialty group, Astera Cancer Care. As part of a larger practice such as Astera, we are better able to offer state-of-the-art medicine and research opportunities to more and more patients in New Jersey and beyond. To conclude, thank you so much for today's honor and recognition. To the administration, staff, and most of all, to the patients of our community, I truly appreciate this honor. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to this year's Physician Appreciation Award recipients, Dr. Bernstein and Dr. Fine. Please welcome the Most Reverend James F. Cecchio, Bishop of the Diocese of Metuchen, for the presentation of the Bishop's Award.
It's my great honor this evening to present the Bishop's Award to Affinity Federal Credit Union for their commitment to St. Peter's and to building a better community. Affinity's spirit of giving back ranges from grants to local charities to hosting community drives for school supplies and warm clothing for those in need and food for the hungry. Here at St. Peter's, Affinity provided initial funding to develop Moving On from Cancer, a program benefiting breast cancer survivors. They've also supported major campaign initiatives, including the expansion and modernization of our emergency department and the simulation center for interprofessional learning. These are just a few examples of Affinity's commitment to caring for the community. St. Peter's is truly blessed to have a community partner like Affinity Federal Credit Union. So I thank you and congratulate you and the entire Affinity team, which is led by John Fenton, for making a difference in the lives of so many.
The support from Affinity has been integral in building our emergency department. This has created a space that is spacious and safe to provide the best care that we can to our population. They have also helped with supporting the simulation center, which has direct impact for my department and my staff, as we do use the simulation center for a lot of practices and teachings and education for our staff, including our nurses. In general, I think what the capacity that we were able to develop during COVID, the capacity for treatment. As you know, when the pandemic struck, the cases of COVID really skyrocketed in the state of New Jersey, and that was no exception in Middlesex. So we had multiple patients presenting at the same time in the emergency department. At the same time as we're taking care of critical patients, we had to take care of patients that simply were scared and needed basic testing or basic evaluation. And the expansion of the department allowed us to do that in a way that it's safe and still providing good care. We utilized our pediatric emergency department for care of adults at that time as well. So we truly expanded and used the full footprint of the emergency department during the response to the pandemic. I'm sure there's plenty of individual stories that can be shared, but overall, I think the biggest story is that we're able to take care of the whole community during those tough times. The Simulation Center is a valuable tool for the development of our providers, including our nurses and students. For our department, we use the Simulation Center for teaching difficult or rare cases or treatments or procedures. So it's used constantly by our physicians, nurses, and students. And I should mention Dr. Kathari, and that the Simulation Center has played an integral role in the development of the Institute for Bedside Medicine, and now it's even internationally known.
Well, survivorship is not just a program, but it's sort of a whole process for patients that are survivors of cancer. But one of the things that was brought to us by Affinity was a program called Moving On. And they introduced us to a cancer survivor. She was a double mastectomy breast cancer patient who was a yoga instructor and created this program in order to help patients move on and take the journey back to their health, even better than they were before. So this enabled our patient population that were surviving cancer, and most of them were breast cancer patients, to kind of have the support of others that went through this, but also make their bodies better from some of the treatments and from some of the things they went through. And the Moving On program was like an exercise program. And what happened was it would start out very slow and build strength and give them more confidence. It was such an invigorating, inspiring program. It's a blessing. It's absolutely a blessing. They have not only supported this program, but they've supported the needs of patients. So maybe they need support bras, maybe they need wigs. They've given us allocated money in order to help patients get through this transition of their bodies, of the care that they needed, especially our indigent care for patients.
Join us in welcoming John Fenton, President and Chief Executive Officer of Affinity Federal Credit Union.
It is an honor for Affinity Federal Credit Union to be recognized as the 2021 Bishop's Award honoree. As I reflect on the many years of partnership with St. Peter's Healthcare System, I am most proud of the work we have done and we will continue to do in the communities. Since 2008, Affinity and St. Peter's have worked hand in hand to improve the well-being of Middlesex, Hunterdon, Somerset, and Warren counties and beyond. St. Peter's University Hospital and St. Peter's Foundation have been a solid force in Middlesex County for many years, where we at Affinity have come to work and visit with our members. Prior to the pandemic, we would work closely with hospital staff, patients, and community members, and I personally have been honored to be a member of several committees of St. Peter's Board. My personal connection to this organization also inspired the work that I encourage our team members and the constituents of the Affinity Foundation to carry on for our communities. In recent months, we have been challenged, and these challenges have created new opportunities to help and support those who live, work, and worship in New Jersey and beyond. Whether this is the way we have created new outreach programs, introduced new products or services, or supported the most vulnerable in our community, we have worked tirelessly to find a way to help. Many of my Affinity team have been working around the clock to keep our members in their homes, to find ways for small businesses to reemerge even stronger, or advise how those stimulus dollars can restore hope and well-being. I know if I asked any of your patients, parishioners, or community at large, you would have similar examples of the endless work of those throughout the St. Peter's healthcare system. When President Roosevelt signed the Federal Credit Union Act into law in 1934, not-for-profit cooperative institutions like Affinity were embedded throughout the nation to support the cause and to instill a cooperative spirit of people helping people. Similar to a hospital or a church, a credit union has the responsibility to open our doors to everyone, no matter what their wealth, circumstance, or need. Since its inception, the Affinity Foundation has donated well over $1 million in grants to dozens of nonprofit organizations throughout the communities we serve. Our mission is to provide our members and our communities with solutions to improve financial wellness, education programs that enable self-sufficiency, and support that ensures that the essential healthcare services will end the cycle of poverty to all those we serve. Despite the challenges in 2020, we have made significant impact in our communities through community grants, student scholarships, COVID response, including relief grants to members, and emergency support for our food banks. The pandemic has changed the norms for all of our members and patients alike, whether it be long, endless hours of medical attention, or in our case, temporarily closing our branches. We have reached an opportunity to envision the future. Our most important resource, our highly trained staff, who is here to serve St. Peter's family and beyond, has embraced the most advanced technology to manage day-to-day member transaction banking needs. Together, I believe there's even more ways St. Peter's and Affinity can work together to improve the health, welfare, and well-being of many throughout Central Jersey and beyond. My commitment is to continue to share our resources to support what really matters to each of us, the communities we serve. In conclusion, I would like to again state how honored I am that Affinity has been blessed with the 2021 Bishop's Award. The team and I are extremely honored to be bestowed with the highest recognition of our partnership with St. Peter's. Thank you for this honor, and be well.
Congratulations to this year's Bishop Award recipient, Affinity Federal Credit Union. Now let's take a moment to recognize the nursing staff at St. Peter's.
Nurses have been caring for patients at St. Peter's since the hospital opened its doors more than 100 years ago. Since that time, one thing remains the same: their commitment to providing quality and compassionate care. Led by Linda Carroll, Chief Nursing Officer and Vice President of Patient Care Services, St. Peter's nursing team has transformed healthcare, improving patient outcomes and safety with the highest skill level. St. Peter's philosophy of care is based on the 5 C's of nursing: calling, caring, culture, commitment, and collaboration. Each of these is reflected in the level of care provided at St. Peter's each day, efforts that have been recognized nationally. St. Peter's is only the 5th hospital in the world to earn magnet recognition for nursing excellence 6 times in a row from the American Nurses Credentialing Center of the American Nurses Association. And they achieved this recognition during the most challenging of times in 2020. The most prestigious distinction a healthcare organization can receive for nursing excellence and quality patient outcomes. Magnet status is the gold standard for hospital nursing internationally. This is only one of the many quality and nursing excellence honors our nursing staff have received. St. Peter's nurses carry out their mission in many ways, often working with community groups and tackling healthcare issues. Their work with the Opioid Task Force, for example, is one premier work effort. Working with local law enforcement, schools, and other community partners, the Interprofessional Committee presents community education programs to raise awareness and to help decrease the rate of addiction, especially among adolescents. Our nurses play a key role in creating clinical pathways to ensure that those who are battling addiction receive coordinated care and access to resources that helps them on the path to recovery. Much is expected of the nurses at St. Peter's, but the highest expectation is that they lead with their expertise and their hearts. When a young woman riddled with cancer told a few members of the nursing staff at St. Peter's that she always dreamed of getting married, they began to plan a wedding. Nurses helped arrange for a chaplain, procured the marriage certificate, extended invitations to friends and family, and found just the right gown to fulfill one of her dying wishes. This is just one example of St. Peter's nurses going above and beyond and caring and connecting with patients in special ways. Through the COVID crisis, we have seen countless examples of their unwavering commitment to their patients, their families, and to each other. It is fitting that the World Health Organization designated 2020 as the Year of the Nurse and the Midwife, and this designation continues into further recognition into 2021. Caring comes from the heart, and St. Peter's nurses are the heart of St. Peter's. It is a great honor to recognize the long-standing tradition of nursing excellence at St. Peter's. As a nurse myself and a member of the St. Peter's Board of Governors, I could not be prouder of the nursing excellence and interprofessional collaboration at St. Peter's. As chair of the Quality and Safety Committee, I see firsthand the excellent patient outcomes that are a result of their excellence in caring. Congratulations to your well-deserved recognition at this virtual Gala 2021.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is with my pleasure today to see that the St. Peter's nursing staff is being specially recognized in today's ceremony. 2020 to 2021 is recognized as being the Year of the Nurse. This tribute is based on the early work of Florence Nightingale and her quote stating, "It will take 150 years to see the nurse I envision." The world was hit with COVID-19 150 years later. Our nursing staff at St. Peter's University Hospital is truly Florence Nightingale angels. The dedication, care, and compassion our nurses provided to their patients during these exceptional times was outstanding. The staff put their own fears aside to be there for their patients. The challenge was caring for those, especially at a time when patients' loved ones could not be present. Our nurses became their family. They were there for their patients at their most difficult time, making sure they were never left alone as the end of life was near. They celebrated with those who recovered and assisted everyone around them through the emotional strain the clinical team was experiencing. They are true heroes. 2020 also was an important year to our nurses as they achieved Magnet for the 6th consecutive time, giving them this distinction of being one of 5 hospitals worldwide to receive this highest designation. Magnet is in honor of the nursing staff's achievements. It is with honor that I'm here today to thank each and every one of you for all you do for your patients, their families, and our community. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
We extend our heartfelt thanks to St. Peter's nursing staff. As we conclude today's program, please welcome back our MC, Jim Choma.
St. Peter's is fortunate to have the support of friends like you. Your generosity has helped St. Peter's grow in significant ways. So what is the impact of your philanthropic support? The expansion and modernization of our emergency department and operating rooms. Omnibeds for our neonatal intensive care unit. The establishment of a state-of-the-art birth center. A 3D stereotactic biopsy machine for our breast center. Establishment of the Simulation Center and Institute for Bedside Medicine benefiting clinical education. These are just a few examples of your support at work. Today's event will help St. Peter's to fund critical needs. In fact, our last gala helped fund the purchase of a community mobile health van that will help bring healthcare services directly to those most in need. Thank you for participating with us in making a difference in the community. As we close our program, I want to give special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Sills, Cummis & Gross, and to all of tonight's sponsors. Giving is not just about donating, it's about making a difference, and all of our sponsors make a difference at St. Peter's every day. And thanks to each of you, our honorees and guests. Together, we are building a healthier community. Cheers, and here's hoping to seeing you again next year, except this time in person. Before we go, just a friendly reminder to take a moment and view today's e-journal. Both the e-journal and today's presentation will be available for viewing at stpetershcs.com/gala. Also, if you have not already purchased your raffle ticket for tomorrow's 50/50 mega raffle drawing, you may do so by contacting the foundation at spfoundation@stpetersuh.com. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Until we meet again, may God bless you and keep you and your family members safe. Good night.
In the words of Mother Teresa, together we can do great things. Thank you for joining us today in celebrating our honorees and for supporting St. Peter's.